All right, let's get into it. Breaking news: the Antonio Gibson hype train is in full effect. It's just crazy how a month ago we were looking at this backfield and dissecting of how Antonio Gibson's gonna get the ball, how the team will use Antonio Gibson, and will Antonio Gibson even be relevant? I've always been high on Antonio Gibson since the start. I've always loved his talent. I always thought that the team and the running back group was no one was as talented as he was. Darius Geis has always had injury issues, and he just can't stay on the field. Adrian Peterson's old. Everybody else on the team, it was a question mark. And the fact that this team spent an early third round pick, because remember they had the second pick in the draft, so they had the second pick in the third round, an early third round pick on a running back like Antonio Gibson. They compared him to Christian McCaffrey. This is the same coaching staff that coached Christian McCaffrey to be the player that he was today. Darius Geis got released. We all know that. Very unfortunate for him, but a great opportunity for Gibson nonetheless. Then all of a sudden we hear today that Adrian Peterson gets cut from the team. I was in shock when I heard the news. Now, Antonio Gibson is now projected to be the starter on the team, and we kind of have to temper expectations a little bit. I know a lot of people on Twitter are getting hyped. So am I. I'm all in on Antonio Gibson. I don't think there's been a draft where I didn't come away with Antonio Gibson this season. So I'm super hyped for him. But we also have to remember, he's kind of new to the running back position. And I know I mentioned in one of my previous videos that it shouldn't really be a concern for Antonio Gibson long term, because the running back position is the easiest position to learn in football. All you have to do is just be fast, have the size, and learn how to hit the hole. That's literally all you need to do. And Antonio Gibson is athletic enough and skilled enough football wise to do exactly that. So I'm not worried the one bit about Antonio Gibson having a productive NFL career. But early on in the first couple games, I do think that we have to kind of temper expectations for Antonio Gibson. He will be the starting running back for this team on the depth chart. He's had an amazing training camp. He's looked really good. He can just do it all, because this team is also gonna put him in the slot. This team is also gonna put him at wide receiver. This team is also gonna run the ball with him. He's gonna be that Swiss Army knife that I mentioned in one of my previous videos. Now let's talk about what this means for him. Now, Antonio Gibson's gonna be an RB2 sometime this year. Might not be early on. He'll probably be a flex RB3 to start off the year, because he will get touches. He's the starting running back for an NFL team. He's gonna catch the ball a lot. And the beauty about Antonio Gibson that I absolutely love, especially for this team, is the Washington football team sucks. That means they're gonna have to pass the ball a lot. They have zero playmakers whatsoever, especially with Adrian Peterson now out of the building. Antonio Gibson is not one of those running backs that you take out of the game when you're down in games and when you need to pass it. That's when he's at his best. That's when you use him as a third down back. That's when you use him and you put him in the slot and at the wide receiver position. So we could realistically see Antonio Gibson being on the field a lot, especially when he comes into his own and he kind of starts developing that running back, and that he starts developing that skill set that you need for the NFL level. And he will, because he's athletic enough and he's talented enough, like I've repeatedly said. What does this mean for other guys on the team? I've heard a lot of people saying that Peyton Barber could be the early down running back for this team. He's the most experienced back on the team, maybe besides JD McKissick, but JD McKissick is trash. Peyton Barber could be the early down running back for this team, getting a couple carries, filling in for Adrian Peterson, but I don't think he's going to be really fantasy relevant like that. He could maybe be rosterable on a super deep league, like a super deep league maybe. JD McKissick has also been impressive during training camp. The team has said that they want to use him in some sort of way, but I just think he's going to be Antonio Gibson's backup in that role. I don't think JD McKissick is too much of a threat for really anything, because he sucks. An interesting name as well is Bryce Love. He could also have an opportunity. He was a third round pick, I believe, last year. And we've heard reports on and off on Bryce Love. He could kind of be like a project. We don't really know. He could be cut. I think one of these running backs will be cut, though. I think either Love or Barber could be cut from the team before the season starts. So we'll let you know, and we'll let you fill in on what this means for the other running backs on this roster. But this is all Antonio Gibson right now. This backfield is 100% Antonio Gibson's. He's the future. He's literally the future for this new Washington Redskins team, this new culture that Ron Rivera is bringing to Washington. And I'm excited. I mean, this is a kid that can do it all. He can catch the ball. He can run between the tackles. He's fast. He's athletic. He can literally do anything. I mean, this kid is going to surprise a lot of people this season. I've always thought that he was talented. I've always loved his skill set. And now that he's getting this opportunity in his rookie, like, he hasn't even played a game yet and he's getting all these opportunities. That just shows you the fact that the Washington Redskins went out and released Adrian Peterson just shows you how confident they are in Antonio Gibson. I mean, again, do I literally have to reiterate it? This team, out of all the needs that they need, this team has so many needs. I mean, this is one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they went out there and spent a valuable third-round pick, an early third-round pick on a running back when they already had Darius Geis and when they already had Adrian Peterson, Peyton Barber, Bryce Love, J.D. McKissick. You don't do that if you feel comfortable with your backfield. You don't do that unless you love this player, and the Washington Redskins love Antonio Gibson, and everything that has come out suggests exactly that. With Adrian Peterson being cut, Darius Geis was lucky. Nonetheless, the fact that they cut Adrian Peterson it only just shows how confident this team is in Antonio Gibson's skill set. I'm super excited for him. I think this offense definitely caps Antonio Gibson's upside this season, but next season and going beyond, I'm super excited, especially again with this coaching staff that the Washington Redskins have. Ron Rivera was the head coach for Christian McCaffrey. Scott Turner was a coach in the Panthers organization when Christian McCaffrey, literally every single year when Christian McCaffrey was there. I think Bryce Love could have a lot of upside as well. I actually really like Bryce Love. I have him in a couple of my leagues. I think he possesses the most upside out of any single running back on this roster. I think he's the second guy to own on this roster. But again, how many running backs are really going to be relevant on this Washington offense? And the reason why I think Antonio Gibson is going to be relevant is just because he has that pass catching ability. He can literally be on the field every single play if they wanted him to. So that's all I got for you. The Antonio Gibson hype train is in full effect. I'll see y'all later.